Hello, this is Phil from CCN, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the integration of clubs, events, and memberships for provincial cycling associations. So to frame what I'm going to show you as a demonstration, I'll give a little bit of an introduction and try and make this as efficient as possible. So in 2010, after working with events and clubs and PTAs for a few years, we started to listen and hear noises about the administration process that goes on behind the scenes. So essentially, usually those are anchored around the membership or the insurance portion of things, and it was really focused on, we need to make sure that participating in an event, I have the necessary license, or participating in club activities, I have the necessary insurance. So we began listening and observing these processes, and we started planning an integrated process. By an integrated process, what I mean is, from a user's perspective, I shouldn't need to go to one place for my event registration and do one transaction, and then go and collect my license that I require for participating in that event from another page with another transaction. Similarly with a club, if I'm registering for a club and I need to be a member of a provincial cycling association, well, we need to find a way to integrate that in one experience for one transaction. But we can't just have one standardized national system that works for all of the clubs and all of the cycling associations. It needs to be modular, and it needs to work in a way that the club can have their data and their revenue and their funds, and the cycling association can have all the same for them with their data and their funds remitted independently. But from a user's perspective, we need one transaction, one experience, and we need to make sure that when I sign up for a club, the club coordinator can rest assured that by signing up for a club, I have the necessary insurance to participate, and they don't need to cross-reference and make sure that there's sufficient insurance. Of course, we can't remove the fact of it's probably wise to inspect memberships once a year. However, we can really improve the entire experience by guiding or creating a barrier to make sure that people are at least getting the right membership during the registration standpoint. So what does that mean? In 2010 we started working on it. Last year we launched the first integrated process, and that process, it had lots of room for improvement in terms of the user experience. It was quite fragmented. In fact, it really wasn't very aesthetically pleasing. However, it was functional, and it wasn't an easy thing to come up with, so it's taken a lot of work. This year, when I say this year, 2014, we've actually been working on improving the user experience and making it a little bit more friendly, less fragmented, and more efficient, as it were. And of course, a little bit more mobile friendly as well, as that's the way the trends are going. So what I'm going to show you is a quick example, and the case study that we use here is the Winnipeg Cycling Club and the Manitoba Cycling Association. The Winnipeg Cycling Club are an associate club from the Manitoba Cycling Association. So when I join the Winnipeg Cycling Club, of course, I need to have membership with Manitoba Cycling Association. So as you can see here, this is the Winnipeg Cycling Club's page. We've styled this page to look a bit like the club branding and include some of the details that their club need to announce to their members. And you can see there's a join button at the bottom as well. Now this is the Provincial Cycling Association's landing page on CCN, and this is where necessary information it can be found. Also, we add some extra links in here to help the users find links to this respective club if that's their objective, or they can of course proceed and buy the membership. But we're going to start with the Winnipeg Cycling Club and click to join. Users remain logged into the CCN system unless they choose to log out. The common practice now is that we leave a user logged in. No reason to force them to remember their password, whereas they can, just like if they're using Facebook, if they choose not to log out, it will be logged in when they return. The first question is, who do I want to register? Well, as a member of CCN, I could have an infinite number of rider profiles. It could be my son, my daughter, or other people that I'm registering as a team manager, for example. In this example, I've only got one profile, so we're going to select that. Of course, I could choose to add a new one. What you'll notice right away is that the process now is feeding the member or the user with one bit of information at a time, or one process at a time. The first one was who you're registering, and once that's selected, it goes into a saved mode, and if I needed to edit or adjust that, I could just click here. As I know that I don't need to select another person, I can just continue. Well, next step is an address. I already have an address in the system, so we don't want the user to have to enter an address more than once. So if this is the address I need, I can just select it. You'll notice I'm using an address that has a Manitoba address, a Manitoba province here. Critical part of that is that I'm going to show you the process of buying a UCI membership. Well, a UCI membership, or license I should say, for Manitoba requires that I have a Manitoba address. So next step. Before I'm able to continue with my Winnipeg Cycling Club, the system is acknowledging that me, Phil, I don't have the necessary membership or insurance to register. So in order, as you can read, in order to continue with the membership, I need to buy a membership or license from Manitoba Cycling Association. What was different last year was that this process used to jump you into a separate form on a separate page, and you'd complete that. Once that was completed, you'd return. And that was quite fragmented, and it really was a sticking point for a lot of users. So what we've done this year is made the membership form appear in an overlay. So we haven't left the original page, we're just giving them a small window to continue and complete the membership application for Manitoba. So as you can see here, the member information has been loaded, and the first question here is to pick an address to be associated with my license. I don't need to enter a new address, I'm just going to keep the same one. Next step, the system's calculating based upon age and also my sex, if there are options available to me, and also the prices that are based upon those. Also, those prices are based upon existing memberships I have. If I already owned a citizen membership, for example, and I was upgrading to be a UCI member, I would only be paying the difference between the two. So in this instance, these highlighted options are put in here to show me, well, as you can read, I must select one of these highlighted options to continue. So these are the requirements to join the Winnipeg Cycling Club. I must have one of these MCA memberships. I'm going to choose the UCI license as it's the longest process, and as you can see, my total is 120. But if I was buying a citizen, it's 65. Obviously, there's no reason for me to buy both a citizen permit and a UCI permit and pay for them both. So as you can see, the system is set up that if I was unintentionally doing that, I'd only be paying the cost of the most expensive license. We only need to fill out one form, so we're going to continue with just the UCI license. And the next section is it's loading the criteria that it needs to collect. So typically there'll be the ability levels and the disciplines. So this license from MCA is set up to be what we call an all disciplines license. So I need to choose an ability level for all disciplines. I'm going to pick those. And I'm going to pick my affiliation, which is Winnipeg Cycling Club. Next step is any survey details or photos. So as you see, there is a photo required for this. Slightly different uploader from last year. There's a couple of improvements. Of course, the option to choose a file from your system. Also the option to proceed by uploading the photo at a later date. Perhaps I don't have the photo to hand right now. Also this year is a drag and drop picture. So let's just go here and I can just drag and drop this in. Works very nicely. Right, let's fill in some survey information. Additional comments, I don't need any of those. Primary discipline. My region. This is something that Manitoba Cycling Association need to collect. And also there's an option for a pedal magazine that's complimentary, so we'll go with the digital version of that. That's great, it's free. Okay, so I've completed my application for my Manitoba Cycling Association, and now my only option is to return to my Winnipeg Cycling Club registration. And as you can see, I'm allowed to continue because I have the necessary membership already in my card. Well, if I already had a membership and I was proceeding to just buy a Winnipeg Cycling Club sign up, well, it would acknowledge that I already have the MCA membership, and there wouldn't be that process that would appear in the interstitial layover there. Right, I'm going to put in the survey information for the Winnipeg Cycling Club. returning member. I'm new. Happy to hear about us. Web search. And so, how to contact me details. Great. So, Winnipeg Cycling Club membership. Signed up, and I've also added my membership, my UCI license for Manitoba Cycling Association in the same sitting, and I have the option here to proceed and add another member, maybe my son or daughter, or of course I just want to register myself and I proceed to the cart. So before I can get to the cart, there are two waivers or required agreements that I need to make. First one is for Winnipeg Cycling Club, and this is their terms and conditions that I must read and agree to. Okay, great. Second step is the Canadian Cycling Association waiver that is part of MCA's sign up and buying a UCI license. This is quite a comprehensive waiver, so I'll just go through and see, read and agree. So with those two waivers agreed to, I'll arrive at the cart. Now what's great about this is we've got two orders. One is for Winnipeg Cycling Club, one is for Manitoba Cycling Association. Usually the credit card receipt would be displayed as one of these, so if it would either say Winnipeg Cycling Club or Manitoba. Well, in this instance, because there are two orders, we can't put both on the credit card statement, so we're going to show the user's credit card statement as CCN Bikes, because that's who he's doing the transaction with. Of course, the total is displayed right here, and that total is for this order and this order, and as you can see they charge differently. One of them includes processing fees, one adds on processing fees, and GST is collected on our processing fees as we're a business as well, so there's 40 cents in GST there. So if I had a coupon code, I could submit this here, and as you also see that this UCI license is going to be mailed to me, so it does require a shipping address. If it was didn't have a flag for requiring shipping, this wouldn't appear. Once again, billing address, we don't want anyone to enter an address more than once, so if it's already in the system, you just pick it, and of course I can toggle if my shipping address is different and edit it that way. Right, so the quick and dirty of what we've just done there is one registration for two organizations. This organization will receive their revenue, this organization will receive their respective revenue, and both will have access to the necessary data and not each other's. So it's one process, one page, and it's a much more user-friendly version of the integration, and from a user's perspective, hopefully that's a great improvement. I will receive a confirmation email from Manitoba Cycling Association, a confirmation email from Winnipeg Cycling Club, and of course in turn MCA will be printing my UCI license, and I'll get that in the mail shortly. So if you want us to show you a demonstration of your particular club or your particular event and how it can function on the CCN system, we can integrate it with any of the provincial cycling organizations and make it so that the users are required to get the necessary insurance or the necessary license to participate in your club or your events. And we'd love to show you a demonstration. Feel free to reach out to us either via email or via phone, and we look forward to talking to you. Thank you.